What's up, guys? C Baby here, back with another story time. And in today's story time, I'm going to be talking about the time my life flashed before my eyes. So I was around 16 in this story. So I was still in high school, and in my high school, they have a program called BOCES. And basically, what it is it's a program where you can leave school early half the day to go to a trade school. So I was enrolled into that program, and on this particular day, it was canceled because I'm pretty sure the pipes bursted. So that means we got a half day that day. So it was the end of the day, and I was talking to this girl in my last block, and she asked me if I wanted to walk her home. So I said yeah, because it was on the way to my house anyway, and shit, I wanted someone to talk to. So we start walking, and we're just talking about casual stuff. And she tells me before we get to her house, because her boyfriend was there, she says, walk about 10 feet in front of me so that my boyfriend doesn't see that we were walking together. So I start walking past the house and I see her boyfriend and my neighbor. I'm going to call her boyfriend Bob in the story so I don't have to keep referring to him as her boyfriend. But Bob was working on a four-wheeler and my neighbor was there with him hanging out. So obviously I go up to them and, dap them up, chop it up, and then the girl walks behind me and, we're all just chilling. So we're all just chilling for about, I don't know, an hour 30. And then they asked me, they're like, yo, we're going to the waterfront. Do you want to come with? So I was like, yeah, I ain't have nothing to do that day. And I was bored, so I went with them. So it was me, it was Bob, it was Bob's girlfriend, and Bob's dad, and my neighbor, and me. And they had a truck that only had front seats. You know what I mean? There was no back. So you could only fit three people up in the front. So me and my neighbor had to sit in the bed of the truck. Looking back at it, it's really stupid, but roll the clip.
I made it in, bro.
You made it in?
Asshole!
So anyway, we get to the waterfront and we're all just chilling, chopping it up, talking. And there's like this abandoned building where I'm from. So Bob climbs it and he climbs it and jumps off into the water. And everyone's screaming. They're like, yo, 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 yo. And I'm just thinking in my head, like, yo, this kid is crazy. So anyway, he swims back over to where we were at. And he's like all out of breath and stuff. And he asked me, he's like, yo, you want to do it? And in my head, I was like, fuck no. I'm terrified of heights, personally. But, everyone was looking at me. And honestly, I just felt like peer pressured or I didn't want to be like a bitch. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So we walk over to the abandoned building and there's this probably 10-foot ladder that is just super wobbly, just totally unsecure. So Bob goes first and I follow him and it's just wobbly and there's rust falling down your face. It's pitch black. But anyway, we get up to the top and I look down and my heart just drops. Personally, I'm terrified of heights, but I look at Bob and Bob looks at me and he's like, all right, we're going to go on three. Come over here and like line up. And I was like, all right, bet. So he goes, one, two, three. He runs off and jumps, and obviously I'm following him. But as I'm running and jumping off, it was like slow motion. I felt like I was in the air for like at least a minute, and my life just flashed before my eyes. I've honestly never experienced something like that, so it's just really crazy experience. But roll the clip.
Ready?
Oh.
Yeah!
But after that, we kind of just hung out, watched the sunset, smoked a few bowls, drank a couple beers, and my cousin picked me up. I went home and I went to sleep. So that's it for this story time, guys. If you enjoyed, subscribe, leave a like, and I'll be back with another one soon. Peace.